Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fedora Chef. I've got a half a chicken breast here. I've already cleaned off the excess fat. I've pulled out the worst of the hard tendon, and I'm just going to make some strips out of it. Take off the tender. You can get 2 strips out of that if you make them small, which I like to do because then you get a huge plate for everyone to cheat off of. Just cut that maybe diagonally. You get a couple right there. It's a little piece of fat that I missed. And you've got a thin end. I always like to take that off just as it starts to get thick. Got a bit of an angle. And you could just cut these up into smaller pieces too. Make some longer, some shorter. It really doesn't matter. Everybody's going to get some. Now, I take the thicker piece, and I fillet it. Yeah? Make a nice little fillet out of it. Just cut it straight through the center, all the way. Plenty of chicken strips. I have buttermilk. I always like to soak them first. This is Cheater's buttermilk. This is half and half, about a cup of half and half with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in it. Thickens it up, it curds it. I'm also going to want to put in some hot sauce. I think maybe 1/8 of a cup would be pretty good in there. Give it a nice little zest to it. Mix that in. Now, I've heard some people are using pickle juice, dill pickle. And I'm going to try that again. Not again, soon. So, I'm just going to put this chicken in the buttermilk to soak. You want to do this for at least an hour or 2 ahead of time. I'm going to do it for the entire day. I'm just going to cover it up, put it in the fridge, let it soak. Welcome back. I'm Doug Earl, and I'm not wearing pants. So I have equal parts of flour and cornstarch. The cornstarch will help get it extra crispy. That's in hot oil. I don't know how it's going to work in an air fryer. I've got some salt and pepper in here. This one, let's see, maybe probably 3/4 teaspoon of each that I'm just going to pop in. Paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. I'd say there's close to 2 teaspoons of each. Just going to add all that. And I have a little bit of chili powder, maybe 1/4 teaspoon and 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne red pepper. Now, you don't have to add that. You can add a little thyme and rosemary. Sometimes I do that. I've put mustard powder in, marjoram, parsley. This is how recipes are created. Experiment with your favorite flavors. Just give it a good mix. That's done. And I have my chicken that has been soaking overnight. And again, I heard people like to use pickle juice, which I've never tried and I would love to try. I hear that's something that Chick-fil-A does. I've never had Chick-fil-A because they're ultra-right Christian homophobes. So the chicken has been soaking in this buttermilk with some hot sauce in it. You shake off a little bit of the liquid. Drop it in your flour. Try not to splatter your flour like I just did. And you want to, I drop in about 5 or 6 at a time, give them a good coating. Just toss the flour around them, roll them in it, press it down, get a nice coating on them. I'm going to go ahead and coat all of them and then I'll come back. I'm going to use this pan in the air fryer because I think if I put it in this basket, oh, that's going to fall through, all the coating. And I'm only going to do about a half a dozen or so at a time in the pan because I have a feeling they'll all stick together if I just throw them all in the basket at once. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try it both ways. All right, all the chicken is coated now. At this point, if you want to go really crazy, you could then dip this into some beaten egg and then coat it with some, I hear people like to do potato chips now too. Crumble them all up, give them a nice extra crispy coating. I don't know how that would work in an air fryer. I think that's left for deep frying, maybe like some barbecue chips or something. But since we're trying to go healthy or healthier, just give the pan here a little bit of a spray. This is a little baking pan that I found that fits in perfectly into the air fryer. And I'm just going to do a few pieces just to see how they come out. And then I'll decide from there. I'll check them in 5 minutes, turn them over. Okay, the first 5 minutes is up here. Check these out. Oh, they're starting to brown up a little to get some color. I don't know if you can see that. I'll give them a little bit of a spray and flip them. Give them another 3 or 4 minutes on the other side. I noticed some of the coating's already sticking to this pan a little bit. So I definitely don't think I would want to do this just by putting everything in the basket. And I'm going to pop them in for another few minutes and check them again. All right, that's 8 minutes total. And they did get browned up, but they're falling apart. This might work better in one of those oven air fryers that has a rack you can put a tray under. But this coating, use my back, this coating is just falling off of here. I don't necessarily think that these are going to work out in an air fryer at all. Not this kind of air fryer anyway. Plus, I think my air fryer just died. I did not hear the fan blowing. Nope, I think it just died. So, 2 failures in one night. Wonderful. These are gonna. The rest of these are gonna go in hot oil in the wok. Yeah, this coating is just falling right off. So, this experiment sucked. Okay, my oil is up to temperature. A little high, 360. It will cool down when I put the chicken in. Small pieces of chicken, don't need to cook them very long. I get to use my little gadget for precise induction cooking. Good temperature control. Start laying my chicken right in there. I haven't used this gadget for deep frying yet, but it should maintain a consistent temperature rather than fluctuating on the stovetop. I have used it to make omelets. Very precise control for a low cooked omelet. I'm not going to fit all this chicken in one batch. And these won't take long, about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes tops. I think I could have maybe gotten away with cooking these in the air fryer, well, if it hadn't died. But if I had dipped them in egg and then maybe put them in some breadcrumbs, because I have cooked with breadcrumbs in it before using that pan, and I've had good results doing that, but not with this flour coating, not today. So I'm just going to let these cook. I'll cook the next batch, and now the second batch is done. This is out of the oil. These little gadget spider come in very handy. I'll drain the oil, put them on a rack, and the rest of the oil is drained off. Use a hot sizzling. Let them cool down. I would have used my larger wok, but they didn't have that much oil left. So this was a perfect compromise. Turn this thing off. And use some barbecue-y type chicken fingers. And don't they look good?